Hey everybody, my name is Jameson Hapadenko, and I bet you landed on this video today because you're wondering what the costs are associated with going RVing, maybe full-time or maybe even just going part-time. I wanted to share with you, what my wife, I, and our two kids, our experience was when we went for a 2-year time period. So here's the deal, guys, is when we first started looking for an RV, we wanted to get something that was used. We didn't, actually our credit didn't allow at the time for us to buy something new. And besides, even if we could have, I don't think I would have wanted to take the depreciation. A lot of RVs depreciate, quite a bit in their first year, just like a normal car would. So you got to think about that. But then the other thing that you really need to keep in mind is that, whenever you buy a brand new RV, normally there's problems associated with it, within the first year. After you put so many miles on it, you start having all these little problems and warranty issues come up. Now, what I recommend is that, when we got ours used, we had an extended warranty put on it, and you can check with the manufacturer of the RV that you get, to get an extended warranty to cover any of the major problems that may go wrong. But if you avoid buying one when they're brand new, you're going to avoid a lot of the little problems that may go wrong within the first year or two of the RV, with the new owner. And so that person, we heard a lot of horror stories of people and even new personal friends where they were back and forth to the RV place all the time, getting warranty issues fixed out. So that's one reason to buy a used one. Now, what we did was we found a company that actually set us up with a seller, I should say. And what we did was we negotiated a private deal with the seller, and we did a lease option. And so we were able to get a 40-foot Monaco Camelot that was about 8 years old. It was a diesel pusher. We were able to get it for about $720 a month. And so that was a really cool deal. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is, so you got your RV, where are you going to stay? So here's what we did is we actually found a place that it was kind of set up like a timeshare. You can either pay for it all up front, or you can get it set up into payments. And so what we did was we took the payment option, and the payment option for a lifetime membership was, I believe it came out to be like $120, maybe it was $130 a month. But then what happened was they had like what they call resort fees. So every time you would stay there, you paid like a $3 resort fee, and that covered your electric for 50 amp, and that's what we had with our 50 foot. It was less if you didn't have 50 amp. I'm going to go into that in other videos, like into exact details on how that all worked. So if you like and subscribe to this channel and to this video, if you like this video, if you subscribe, you'll be able to see the videos that I'm producing in the future where I go into absolute detail of exactly what we did with that. But anyhow, so you can find a good place to, you find a place to stay. Like I said, we got the membership, and with that membership, that $120, $130 I think it was, it got us into, I believe it was 86 parks throughout the whole United States. And then we actually got discounts to a bunch of other places that they had throughout the United States as well. So it was a really good deal. So the other thing you want to look at is how much is it going to cost me to travel from one destination to the other when I want to move locations and go check out different areas and stuff like that. So what we did was we put together about a $200 budget, and what that was able to do was our diesel tank was about 100 gallons, and $200 basically at the time. Diesel was about $4 a gallon, so with a 100-gallon tank, it would cost us $400 to fill the whole thing up. So $200 budget would give us a half a tank, which is 50 gallons. And on 50 gallons, we could go about 500 miles. And so, I mean, if you think about it, 500 miles will get you pretty far to different locations. So, you got $200 there in extra budget expenses. Now, the other thing you got to pay attention to as well is, when we found ours, one of the things that I started noticing was there's a lot of vehicles out there that have electronic, you can get them with what we got was an aqua hot. And so what our aqua hot did was it worked off of, it would actually heat the coach if you were in cold weather. So it had like a circulatory system, basically. I don't know if that's what they call it, but it had like some type of, like a radiator type system that worked throughout the coach that blew through like these air vents. And then what was cool about it as well is that if you flip that thing on, you know, if you could leave it on all the time, and that's usually what we did, but what it would do is it would heat the actual water in the coach with these electronic elements. And so it was kind of like having a hot water heater at your house. And if your park included electric, I mean, it would totally, you know, you could have hot water all the time. And with the AquaHot system, the way it was set up is it would give you pretty much on demand. I mean, if you had enough in that tank, you could take like an hour-long shower if you wanted to. It was really cool stuff. So that's one of the things you want to pay attention to as well is what kind of water system, heating system do I have for my hot water tank. So the other thing that you got to pay attention to is propane. So the only thing that we used for propane in our coach was when we were traveling, when we were actually driving the coach, the refrigerator worked off of propane. It worked off electric, and I believe there was one other thing it worked off, but I can't remember at this time. But I know it worked off of propane. And then the gas stove, we used the gas stove quite a bit. We cooked in the coach quite a bit. And so from my experience, our tank was pretty big, and we only had to fill up our propane tank once during that 2-year time period. And I was asking my wife the other day because I couldn't find the receipt. I couldn't remember exactly what we paid, but I believe she thought that we paid around $60 to get that filled up. And so, you know, you got to incorporate that, which that's really not that much money. I mean, for a year's time of using a propane, you know, the propane. And so basically the only other thing that I would consider when you're doing this is insurance. Now, if you already have a home, at the time we did this, we didn't have a primary residence, and so we actually, it cost us, it ended up being about $100 a month to add it to our policy. And so we paid an extra $100 a month, so you got to add that in there. So far, let's just do a review real quick. So we had $720 for our coach. We had $130 a month for our membership fee, and then $3 a month, $3 a day for the resort fees if we were staying throughout the month. So that would cost us basically $220 roughly by the time you add the resort fees in there. And then we had $200 for expenses as far as, you know, what we added in for extra fuel costs for traveling. And then you've got your insurance. So basically that works out to be about $1,240 if I'm doing my math correctly. That, you know, basically that's what our expenses were a month. Now, if you look at that compared to, you know, living in a residential area or maybe even some apartments that are out there, I mean, it's pretty stinking reasonable. And what was cool about it, guys, is that you could pull up into just about any location and you have all of your stuff with you. You know, and there's some places where if you wanted to, you could park on different national parks and different stuff like that if you'd like. You got to be careful if you get, you know, bigger motorhomes. You got to be careful because in some parks they don't, you know, some national parks I should say, they don't allow you to bring a 40-foot in some of those parks, and then they have height requirements. So that's some of the things that you need to look for if you want to do this. Now, in some of my future videos, I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be going through a lot of details on, you know, we looked at a lot of different coaches before we got ours, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly kind of where we found ours, how we got a lease option on it, how with even bad credit at the time, how we were able to get you know, the deal to go through, which was really awesome. And then, you know, there's a lot of other cool stuff I'm going to be doing. So make sure you like and subscribe to this video so that you get some more videos as I start coming out with them. We're going to also be doing some international traveling later on this year, and actually not this year, but next year. And you know, we're probably looking at getting another coach. So what I'll do is I'll take you along that journey as we go and do our due diligence on finding another coach as well. So the only other thing I'd like to leave you with is, you know, make sure you like and subscribe. You know, as always, if you want to figure out how we were able to make a full-time living using the power of the internet while we were doing this, you know, while we were on our 2-year adventure, what you can do is you can go down and, you know, I'll post a link below this video for it as well, but you can go to workwithjameson.com, and that's going to take you to a page of mine that actually just goes through and tells you exactly what we've got going. And basically what I do is I do some coaching with people, and I show them how they can make a full-time living on the internet, or even a part-time living, depending on how much money you need. You know, some people have got their retirement, or some people have got pensions and stuff like that, and they just need to make a little bit extra. Or maybe you're young and you know what, you're like, you know what, I don't want to work a conventional job. I don't want to do the conventional thing. I want to actually get out there, you know, explore the world, the country a little bit. And you know, for me, I think it's ideal. I think the ideal situation is to just have a motor coach as a home, because if you think about it, you know, it's a depreciating asset, but if you buy right, you can always sell for, you know, and pretty much get your money back out of it. You know, we met some Australians that came here and they traveled for a year. Really nice couple with their two daughters, young daughters, and what they did was they bought a pull-behind trailer, and they just picked it up for a real decent price, and then they got like a nice, I think it was like an Escalade or something that they pulled it with, and their plan was get really good price on both of those when they got here, use them for a year, and then when they left, they just sold both of them, and it was like they got to live free for a whole year. So, you know, really cool stuff, guys. Look forward to some really cool stuff on this channel. I'm going to be doing some interviewing. Hopefully we can get the Australians on the phone. I'm going to be interviewing some really cool people that we met on the road, like Kimber Sparks, a country music singer. So like and subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to seeing you on some of the next videos.